Traveler,
ahí viene lo
Paimon,
interesante.
would you join us and play Marechaussee Hunter Judgment Day?
This script was adapted from the real history of the Marechaussee Hunters. You all will play the role of hunters from a bygone era and resolve a series of events unfolding in the capital.
Many of my habits are customs I've adopted from the Marechaussee Hunter tradition. They fought against monsters, while I fight against lawbreakers. For when I draw my blade, I am but an instrument of Fontaine's law.
A ver, ¿sabéis que para mí el hecho de que sea espada ligera le da muchos puntos? Y os diría, justo ahora que os hablaba del tema armas,
Madam Mage says that every page of a storybook is a segment of the present.
It's so vast and mysterious.
un
There
trabuco
must
más
be
bien.
quite
Mira
a
Sethos, es
story
verdad que
behind this place.
era arquero, es cierto,
So,
no es
I'll
lancero como
explore this
vimos
place
en la
with you
misión
to the end.
legendaria.
Let's never stop hoping for victory. Way ahead of you!
Y además va con el arco del pase de batalla.
Move or be moved!
Not that I doubt your fighting ability, of course. It's just so much more dangerous in
Bueno,
there than I
sigue,
ever imagined.
yo lo siento, pero es que...
Well, if it hurts, just let me know.
Lo siento, pero...
Let's blow bubbles! Don't be nervous. Just relax.
A strange disease, one I suspect that every Fontainian suffers from.
But they don't trust me at all. Do you really think it matters whether I'm Melusine or a human?
I don't believe Master would suddenly disappear for no reason. There must have been something she just had to do.
In the New World, they bade farewell to the shrouded sun. At last, they no longer needed to dwell on their suffering, or try to differentiate between various thoughts of blasphemy. Such was the price they paid, and thus their souls became cleansed and pure.
The way he's holding his sword. He must be a real
Me parece
Marechaussee Hunter.
increíble el equipaje.
You used it
Ahí
yourself,
está,
didn't you?
ahí está.
That's why you have a
Ojito.
human appearance.
That's quite the gamble. But I believe that I am the one walking into a trap.
Uy,
One day,
uy.
I shall have my vengeance.
Vamos a combatir contra Dainsleif.
That way, Captain Dainsleif could accomplish his own goal. The loom of fate has already been completed.
Bueno. De momento pinta muy bien.
Traveler, let
¿Qué
me ask you
dices?
this. Do you believe your sibling to have betrayed you?
Bueno, que llegue ya, por favor. Que llegue ya, por favor. Primer código, ya sabéis, canjeadlo cuanto antes. Duran menos de 24 horas, así que
Champion duelist.
corred.
My opinions do not matter. For when I draw my blade, I am
A
but
ver,
an
Clorinde,
instrument of Fontaine's law.
convénceme.
Ready. Where evil lurks, shoot on sight.
De mo-
Perfect. Then let's get into her combat abilities.
Y la verdad
Clorinde
es
is
que de
categorized as
momento,
an
lo poco que
electro
hemos
sword
visto de
user,
Clorinde,
but she actually
su
uses both a
carácter y
sword
eso, tengo
and a
que decir que sí que
pistolet
me ha
to attack her
gustado.
enemies during combat. Now, her normal attack deals physical damage by performing up to 5 consecutive strikes. During her charged attack, Clorinde uses her pistolet to target enemies in a V shape in front of her. Also, Clorinde has developed a special ritual over the years. She always polishes her weapon before each duel.
Incluso la animación, reconozco.
I know, right?
Que me
And
gusta,
kind of
me gusta. ¿Cómo
adorable.
acaba de
Even
ponerle la
Champion
bala?
Duelist of Fontaine has a cute side, huh?
Aw.
Sarah is starting to sound just like Sigewinne.
Oh, what?
Though it's probably a meaningful ritual for Clorinde, right?
That's exactly
Tiene
right. It's
estilo,
a habit that
cargando
helps
el arma.
Clorinde
Tiene
focus on the
estilo, tiene
opponent in
estilo.
front of her. In fact, Clorinde's elemental skill, Hunter's Vigil, is an ability that demonstrates how potent she can be when she's focused.
Pues va a ser
Check this
verdad
out.
que iba con lo del
During
pacto
combat,
vital
unleashing
igual, ¿no?
Clorinde's elemental skill will
Porque
cause her to
tiene ahí
enter
lo
the
mismo
Night Vigil
Arlequino.
state. During this state, Clorinde can unleash 2 different types of special attacks. Her normal attacks will be converted into Swift Hunt Pistolet attacks, and her elemental skill will be converted into a lunging attack, Impale the Knight.
Huh. It looks like Clorinde gains a bond of life during her elemental skill. Does the skill have any additional effects?
Oh, good perception on those eyes. Those Swift Hunt Pistolet attacks increase Clorinde's bond of life. And her
También os
lunging
digo,
attack, Impale the Knight,
si al
will
final
clear the
saco a
bond of
Clorinde,
life.
probablemente
Wait, so
sea el
she
último
accumulates the
personaje
bond with
electro
one
que
hand
saque.
and then clears it with the other?
Oh,
¿Sabéis
hey, that's a
que
really good
desde hace
explanation.
tiempo digo que de
Yeah,
electro
Clorine's
voy
special
servida?
attacks have different effects depending on the value of her bond of life. So when her bond of life is like relatively low, her Swift Hunt Pistolet attacks have a piercing effect, and they deal greater damage. But when her bond of life is relatively high, her lunging attack, Impale the Knight, has a greater AoE and deals higher damage. Again.
Además,
Gotcha, I get it.
los
So,
movimientos
Clorinde
son
is meant to use her
distintos
pistolet to
a cualquier
accumulate a
otro
bond of life
personaje.
and then use her sword to clear it once it reaches a
eso
certain amount.
también me
That way,
gusta, la
both
verdad.
attacks benefit each other.
La novedad
Bingo!
siempre
Though you
gusta.
should remember the effect of one of Clorinde's unique talents. So, when she's in the Night Vigil state, any healing other than the one provided by her lunging attack, Impale the Knight, will be converted into a bond of life. This unique talent allows different healing effects to alter the pacing of Clorinde's gameplay. So, travelers can experiment with a variety of different tactical combinations.
That's cool.
Also, although Clorinde is most renowned as a champion duelist, she has never forgotten her identity as a Marashose hunter. So, during her elemental burst, Last Lightfall, Clorinde draws on her Marashose hunter heritage to unleash an ancient skill that empowers
Sí,
mortals
eso era el
to fight deadly
definitivo.
monsters. This ability allows her to swiftly evade enemy attacks and strike her opponents.
Me gusta,
Her burst
me
deals
gusta,
AoE
me gusta,
electro
me gusta.
damage
De
and grants
momento
her a bond
podríamos
of life
decir que me
based
está
on her max
convenciendo,
HP.
Wow, that's so cool. But if that
Podríamos
power is
decir que me está
designed to fight
convenciendo.
monsters, is it really okay for her to use it in a regular duel?
Good point. I think Clorinde just has to adjust the amount of force that she puts behind those blows.
That makes sense.
Also, Clorinde can draw on the strength of her companions after unlocking her passive talent, Dark Shattering Flame. Man, that sounds cool. So, when a nearby party member triggers an electro-related reaction, the electro damage dealt by her normal attack
Y parece
and
que
her
irá bien
elemental
con
burst
Furina.
will increase based on her attack value. Though, note, there is a ceiling to the damage bonus that she can gain from this effect. Clorinde also has another passive talent called Lawful Remuneration. If her bond of life is greater than or equal to a certain percentage, then a change in her bond of life value will increase her crit rate. That's right. And while she's in the Night Vigil state, the percentage of healing converted into a bond of life will increase.
Wow.
Yeah. And finally, being a champion duelist gives Clorinde a strong familiarity with all the regions of Fontaine. So, when she's in your party, Clorinde can reveal the locations of Fontaine regional
¿En
resources
serio? Venga, hombre.
on the minimap.
Para eso ya tengo
So
a Linei.
awesome. I'm sure that travelers will be eager to use her to uncover
podía
treasure,
tener otra
defeat
cosa.
monsters, and of
Pregunto,
course, uphold justice.
Pregunto.
Not necessarily in that order.
So. Clorinde is usually pretty stern and composed as a champion duelist, but I wonder how she unwinds. Like, does she have any hobbies? I'm sure that she has some interest outside of work. I mean, she's
Esa
always
animación
accepting
me gusta
cosmetic
mucho.
products from Sigewinne and making sure to return the favor because she's
Bueno,
Aw, and
creo que
yeah,
ya
of course she
sabemos cuál
does.
será
Clorinde
el
is an
próximo
active
5
member of the
estrellas.
tabletop troupe during her off
Obviamente,
hours. So,
tendrá
in
misión
version
legendaria
4.7,
Clorinde.
travelers won't just have the chance to learn more about the Marashose hunters during her
We gotta
story.
look at her demo first.
Yes!
You only get one body, so you gotta take care of it.
bueno.
But it's just
Sigewinne.
as important to take care of your mind.
Me va a pasar todo lo contrario que con Clorinde, ya lo estoy viendo. Ya lo estoy viendo.
He might feel a little prick.
Venga, hombre. Es como el cañón del dragoncito, pero
But then, what
con
does
la
she look
jeringa.
when she fights?
Well, Sigewinne is a hydro bow user. Her normal
Y la
attack
medicina
unleashes
esta
up
que
to 3
lanza.
consecutive
Es que-
attacks. During the second and third attack, Sigewinne takes
Es
out
que
a
no lo
pill
veo.
and tosses it at her
Es que no lo
opponent.
veo.
I saw that in the demo. It's like she's literally
es-
telling her
lo
opponents
veo.
to take their medicine.
The size of that thing.
She can make aimed shots using her charged attack.
Para mí
Once
no,
the
la
shot is
verdad.
held and
Para mí
fully
no.
charged, Sigewinne's bow
Klee
will
me
fire
parece muchísimo
slow-moving
más
ministration bubbles, dealing hydro damage to her target.
Y además
Just make
es que,
sure
no
not
sé,
to
Klee
release
tiene
her
ese
arrow.
toque con las
Oh,
bombas.
and also,
No sé,
Sigewinne uses a
tiene-
specially made bubble gun to fire
Pese a
a
que
giant
a mí
bolstering
nunca me ha
bubble bomb during
interesado,
her elemental
reconozco que
skill, Rebound
tiene sus
Hydrotherapy.
cositas.
The projectile bounces between nearby opponents, dealing hydro damage to anyone it touches, and restoring HP to all nearby party members, well, except for Sigewinne herself. Sigewinne will be healed a certain amount of health when the bolstering bubble bomb disappears, which is based on her max HP.
Bolstering bubble bomb. Say that 3 times fast.
Please don't make me.
You know, travelers could have a bubble blowing contest with their Sigewinnes. Would that be great? You can have that idea for free.
It's exactly like blowing bubbles. The longer you hold her elemental skill, the larger the bubble grows. Once the projectile is released, it will gradually decrease in size as it bounces around.
Tiene que atacar a unas pobres
The greater the damage and healing effect. And if a large bubble hits a weaker enemy, they'll be trapped inside.
Whoa.
Guys, it's like she's trapping them in a cage of kindness.
Like the hydro
you can tell she cares about her bedside manner is so strong.
Hey, wait a second. Are those the orbs that Nivelette drops? It looks like Sigewinne creates 2 source water droplets when she fires a bubble. And it looks like she gains a bond of life when she touches them. How does that work?
I can explain that as well. Since she has training as a nurse, Sigewinne understands how to make the most of a dire situation. Her elemental skill creates source water droplets, and Sigewinne can give herself a bond of life by absorbing them. When that bond of life is cleared, Sigewinne can regain some elemental energy based on the value of the bond of life.
Neat.
So Sigewinne's healing can nullify her bond of life, and she can
que
restore
hasta la
energy for herself.
Así como la de Clorinde,
That's right.
precisamente
While the
por
bond
ser
of
un
life is
arma
hazardous to most
antigua.
people, it can actually
No
be
me
perceived as
disgusta.
a real advantage
Míralo,
for
míralo, no
Sigewinne.
podía faltar,
After she
míralo.
unlocks her talent, detailed
La de
diagnosis, thorough
Sigewinne
treatment,
es que no...
Sigewinne's
es que
healing
no.
will be increased
Yo lo
based on the
siento,
total
pero
bond
es
of
que
life values across all the
no lo veo.
characters in her party.
Oh, thank goodness. Sounds like a Melusine can make the bond of life a lot less scary.
After using her elemental burst and absorbing nearby source water droplets, Sigewinne will use the syringe to spray enemies in front of her. This attack deals continuous hydro damage.
Wait, that's so cute. Even her attacks are a form of medical
A
treatment.
huge syringe.
Yeah, I mean, hey, she just wants everyone to be as healthy as
Definitivamente
possible.
ya sabemos por cuál
Sigewinne wants
no voy
every
a tirar.
patient to get a
Lo tengo
proper amount
bastante
of
claro,
rest. After unlocking her passive talent requires appropriate rest, unleashing her elemental skill will also trigger the semi-strict bed rest effect. This effect will grant her a hydro damage bonus and several stacks of convalescence. When non-active characters deal damage with their off-field elemental skills, Sigewinne can consume a stack of convalescence to increase that elemental skill damage.
I like how it's only semi-strict. Like, you know, not super strict, because she couldn't be super strict.
Just a little.
Wow, so it seems like the bond of life mechanic is pretty integral to both Sigewinne and Clorinde's kits. That sure was a lot of information, though.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to see these abilities in action.
And travelers won't just be limited to the playstyles that they've seen here, right?
Lo
As I
siento, pero la
understand it, the
animación
mechanics
me
leave a lot
quedo
of room
mil
for open
veces con la de
experimentation.
Clorinde.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Esa forma
outside
de
of
cargar
combat, Melusines are
de
very
10.
connected to the ocean, so Sigewinne always takes care of her companions during underwater exploration. Sigewinne is especially helpful when her friends are endangered by underwater enemies. She can use her emergency dose talent to continuously restore HP to her party member for a period of time. Unfortunately, doing so will lower all of their elemental and physical resistances.
There's always a price.
Cool. That seems like a skill that would come in handy, though. Sigewinne is always looking out for us. Thanks, head nurse.
Of course. Oh, and I've got a quick question for you all.
Yes.
Have you noticed any differences between Sigewinne and other Melusines?
Well, I think her appearance and her interests definitely stand out. Like, if you ignore the tail and the feelers on her head, then she actually doesn't look that different from a human child.
Y encima me la ponen con el dragoncito.
Well,
Si es que me están
fair.
diciendo, ¿no?
But also,
Me
she's
están
interested in
diciendo.
beauty, and she knows a lot about
Melusines
skin.
No de
more
10,
unique
de
and
12.
approachable at the same time. In the Narrate chapter, travelers will have the chance to learn more about the background
no?
of this very
Misión
special
legendaria
Melusine
también de
in her
Sigewinne.
personal story quest.
Me va a tocar hacerla.
Oh,
¿Cómo no?
that's awesome.
Hey, speaking of story
Y
quests,
allí está
didn't
Sethos.
travelers meet a mysterious
Sinceramente,
youngster last version?
sinceramente,
Sometime during
puede que sea el
Sinnoh's story
personaje
quest?
que a mí
Well,
más me llame de la
travelers will now have the
4.7.
opportunity to add him to
También
their
es cierto
parties.
que a él lo hemos conocido
recently
un
left the
poquito
desert
más
and he's
gracias
eager
a
to
la
travel
legendaria
around.
de Cino.
So, Zach, why don't you introduce
Y
him?
también es cierto que
me?
igual acabo sacando a
Okay,
Clorinde
then.
por culpa de
Let's take a
Sethos.
look at Sethos'
Puede ser.
demo.
Todo puede
If
ser.
you're always asking why, you end up thinking yourself into a corner. Sometimes it's better to let go. Give me some space.
Lástima que sea arquero. Lástima que sea arquero. Me habría gustado más que fuese lancero, pero también es cierto que sería demasiado parecido a Fino, entonces. Me parece que ya tengo algo para él.
His design is
No había
so
pensado
yo en eso.
And he always knows where to find the best regional specialties. Yeah, you probably know where this is going, but I'll say it anyway. When Sethos is in your team, he'll reveal the location of Sumero regional specialties on the minimap.
Ah, mira.
Whoa. Wait, so I'm curious.
Para
He's lived in a
recolectar por
remote
Sumero.
desert for his entire life, and
A
he carries
estas
the weight of
alturas,
such an
que nos
ancient
vamos
legacy.
a Natlan,
To me,
pero
it
bueno,
seems like someone with that kind
nunca
of
es tarde
upbringing
si
would
la
either
dicha es
be
buena,
like
dicen,
really
¿no?
introverted or just super
Clorinde y
arrogant, but
Sigewinne
Sethos
son
doesn't
5
seem like that at all.
Sethos es el
Yeah,
único
you're
4
absolutely
estrellas.
right. Sethos is a very
A mí la
open
verdad
mind.
es que
Sethos'
estéticamente
aim shot
me
has a
encanta.
special variant when charged to level 2.
Y
He can't
lo
move when his
poquito que
attack is
vimos de
charged to
él,
its
de su
second level,
carácter y
but it
eso, me
allows him to
gustó,
fire a
la verdad.
powerful shadow-piercing shot that
Pese a
can
que era
pierce
el
enemies,
enemigo,
dealing
digamos,
electro
entre
damage to
comillas.
targets in its path.
Pero lo vi
Sethos'
un
talent, Black
muchacho muy
Kite's
sensato.
Enigma, can decrease the charging time of his aim shot by consuming elemental energy. Some elemental energy will also be consumed after releasing the shot.
Nice.
Ooh, useful.
Yeah, and also I noticed his aim shots take a really long time to charge. So I think that means players need to store up elemental energy to fire the shadow-piercing shot faster, right? Hey, wait a minute. I feel like this is the first Genshin Impact character who actually consumes elemental energy while firing aim
Es
shots.
el primer personaje que
Yeah,
coge el
you're
arco
right on.
de las
That's
dos
why
formas,
Sethos has an elemental
normal
skill that
y
helps him
ladeado.
restore elemental energy.
Useful.
It's an ancient ritual that deals AoE electro damage, and it also restores elemental energy whenever a hit
esa
on an
patadita?
enemy triggers an overloaded, electrocharged,
gusta.
superconduct, electro swirl, quicken, aggravate, or hyperbloom reaction.
That's a lot.
But travelers also have another option for firing powerful shots. By unleashing his elemental burst, Sethos will perform an ancient ritual that was passed down from King Deshret's era. He will enter the Twilight Meditation state, converting his normal attacks to enemy-piercing dusk bolts that deal increased damage based on his elemental mastery.
Vamos, que lo que
That's
vimos
cool.
en,
That sounds
en la
like a
legendaria
mini
de
version
Fino,
of the
cero, ¿no?
shadow-piercing
Por lo que
shot,
estoy
only
viendo,
it doesn't
cero.
take as much time
Ni
to fire.
lancero,
Useful.
ni saca
Okay,
ahí
also
las
it seems like
garras
the
como
records of King
Fino,
Deshret
nada.
have a lot
No
of
tiene
powerful abilities,
absolutamente
so,
nada que ver, muy bien.
between you and me, does that mean Sethos has mastered other mysterious rituals and techniques?
Of course! I'm sure that the Temple of Silence has a whole archive of secrets. One of his other talents will also increase the damage dealt by a shadow-piercing shot for a period of time based on his elemental mastery.
Okay, all right. Sounds like the Temple of Silence is a real impressive legacy.
No kidding.
So many ancient rituals.
Sethos is definitely a talented fighter who can make full use of his martial heritage. He's similar to Clorinde in that sense.
Yeah.
De hecho, para mí me atrevería
Oh,
a
wow,
decir que
we finished the first mission.
estéticamente es de los 4
Nice.
estrellas
I
que
wonder
más
what the
me
next one's
gustan,
gonna be.
la verdad.
Let's
Look,
get
I
it.
know, I get it, that everyone can barely contain their excitement. So, I will throw you a bone. To help tide you over until the next update, I'll be sharing a special surprise with y'all.
Oh.
What is it?
Come
Oh, I
on.
love surprises!
It is. You'll know very soon, I promise. But first, we need to introduce the event wishes.
Ooh,
Okay?
okay.
So, in the first phase of version 4.7, Clorinde and Alhacén will be featured in the
Bien,
event wishes.
bien. Me ha
Yeah.
costado darme cuenta
Sethos will be
porque
the
de repente
new 4-star
aparece
unit that
Alhacén y me he
appears
quedado, ¿eh?
on this event wish banner.
Bueno, bien.
And
A
in
ver,
the
bien
second
por
phase of the
Sethos.
version,
Pero,
travelers can look forward to
¿qué me
event wishes
dices?
from Sigewinne and Furina.
¿Qué me dices?
And, because there's never enough, a new
Esto va a
5-star
provocar.
sword, Absolution, and a new 5-star bow,
Gorgeous.
Silver Shower Heartstrings, will also be featured on their respective weapon banners.
They look so good.
Me arriesgo
So cool.
a que me
Good,
pase
right?
como con
All right, okay.
O
I've
no me
made y'all
arriesgo.
wait long enough.
Esa es la cuestión.
Let's bring out the surprise.
Yes!
I hope everyone enjoys it.
Let's go.
Ojo.
This journey of ours has been bittersweet. Close my eyes, wondering what you would have dreamed if you were here standing next to me. Wish you know how I feel and see what I see. Know that I will always try, finding your rhythm and rhyme. Through the nights so long and dark, I see you shining bright. And no matter where you are, you've come with me this far, showing the way when all is falls apart.
Yo no sé vosotros, pero a mí estas cositas me llegan.
When the snow melts away and the ice finally breaks, have you taken off? Are you already on your way? No matter where you are.
Es que hemos cruzado ya 4 naciones. No, ¿qué 4? 5 naciones ya. En busca del hermano o la hermana, según. Que estamos ya que solo nos quedan 2 naciones. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Sinceramente, no esperaba tanto de la 4.7.
I think it's about time we introduce this domain behind us.
Yes, yes, bring on the challenge. I'm so ready.
Dun, dun, dun.
You sound ready. The location of this challenge seems pretty intriguing. Paimon and the Traveler discovered a secret room within the Mondstadt Library, and they've received an invitation to participate in a mysterious performance.
Oh, I love secret rooms in libraries. I've always wanted one. So that's right, the all-new event, Imaginarium Theater, will become available in version 4.7 for travelers who are adventure rank 35 or higher.
Nice. Wait, so this is a library?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The coolest library.
I know, it looks a lot different from what I imagined. It's huge.
Yeah, it kind of looks more like a magic castle.
Right? So cool. I would live there.
Please.
So, travelers will encounter a concierge in the area who
Yo
calls
quiero ese
himself
peluche.
Wolfie.
Aww.
I know, he's so cute. Wolfie. He'll reveal that this room was created by a mage, and that he's waiting for a guest to take the stage. He is also a poet. That guest will hopefully put on a magnificent performance by becoming the main character of the mage's story.
Bring on that main character energy.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. After arriving in this room, travelers just need to interact with this strange book in order to participate in the Imaginarium Theater Challenge.
Wow, that was fast. But what kind of challenge is it?
Oh, let me tell you. Imaginarium Theater contains a series of combat challenges with different battle conditions. Now, only characters who wield specific elemental types will be allowed to participate. So travelers will have to select characters who meet the requirements of the challenge.
Oh, I get it. But what if we don't have enough characters in our roster who meet the requirements?
Good thinking, but you won't have to worry about that. Because first off, 6 characters will be designated as the initial lineup for each challenge. Trial characters will be provided for travelers that are missing any of those characters.
Nice.
And travelers can also invite special guest characters to participate in the challenges that aren't restricted by the event requirements. In addition, travelers can also designate a certain number of characters
Me
as
acabo de dar
supports
cuenta
for
que
their
hay una
friends.
buena noticia
They
en
can
todo
also
esto que
select
ni
their
había
friends
caído.
supporting characters to join their own team.
That's
De
a nice
momento
way to
Grio no
get to try
aparece.
new characters.
Right?
Bien.
Friends. Friends.
Bien.
Who would say no to more friends?
Support each other in staged combat.
Friends helping each other. And during the current challenge period, those 6 designated characters who make the initial lineup will gain fantastical blessings. This will grant them buffs that remain potent even outside of the Imaginarium Theater Challenge.
Wait. So you're saying those buffs aren't just active during the challenge itself?
Yes!
Wow. You're kidding. Wait, okay, the mage behind the theater must be super powerful.
Oh, super powerful. And I
Y
know
por
that
eso me
everyone's
alegro
probably
de que no
wondering why
venga
it looked
ahora.
like we had to
Por
select
eso
so
me
many
alegro.
characters just now.
Porque
But
Clorinde,
characters will
Grio,
consume vigor
ya lo
while
veía un
participating in
poquito, y dos
Imaginarium Theater
armas,
combat challenges. So when a character's
veo.
vigor is fully depleted,
No lo veo.
they will no longer be able to
No lo
fight,
veo.
and you will have to replace
Sin
them with a new
embargo,
character.
ahora
Time for some
Clorinde,
R&R.
y quizá, que no lo sé, ya veremos.
I get it.
No lo sé.
So when you select your characters,
Todo
you have to pay
dependerá de la
attention to
suerte
how
que
well they
tenga
work
con Clorinde.
together.
Yes.
And
Quizás su
also how
arma.
well they can fill
Y
in for each other.
después,
Exactly.
en la 4.8,
And I should also mention
C1
that
de
not
Grio
all selected
y su
characters
arma,
will
lo
immediately
veo más
appear in your
factible,
team.
la verdad.
Some
Lo veo
characters
más
can only be
factible.
gathered by progressing through the story. They can formally be added to your team at the end of an Imaginarium Theater battle, or when you encounter certain special events.
Cool. So assembling your team is part of the challenge.
Yes, which makes it even more fun. But let me explain a little more about the special events that I mentioned. Travelers can choose to spend Fantasia flowers to trigger events during the story. Now, some events will unlock certain characters for battle, and others may trigger certain perils, certain doom. So, travelers will have to choose very carefully.
Ooh, no pressure.
Right?
Travelers can collect performance toward rewards by completing challenges and finalizing their performance results. The first time they
Desafío
complete
de
a challenge,
combate que además
travelers
nos
will
da
also
protos.
receive
Me
a
parece
debut
perfecto.
performance
La
gift.
cuestión es,
Travelers who feel particularly confident
¿será
can try
solo
to
una
attain
vez?
the star challenge condition during each
o cada
stage.
X tiempo
They'll
como
be
en
able to
Abismo?
obtain different levels of performance medals that correspond with the difficulty of the challenge. These medals can be displayed on their profile.
Go ahead and show off.
And that's not all, right? Travelers can also obtain toy medals during this event, which they can exchange with Wolfie the Concierge. In return, travelers will receive special poses for their characters when taking photos.
Oh, awesome!
Right?
Travelers will be able to take all sorts
Eso
of new
parece,
cool
sí.
pictures.
Eso
I am
parece.
excited to see new poses.
So hyped.
Me too. And also, more poses will be added whenever Imaginarium Theater is updated.
Yes. And finally, each performance in the Imaginarium Theater has several difficulty levels, and each one has a different number of challenges. Higher difficulty levels will yield even better
Sí, porque
rewards.
además,
Bring it on.
no sé si os habéis
As
fijado,
Wolfie the
pero ahora en la
Concierge likes to
tarjeta
say,
esa que salía
When the
justo
brilliant
debajo del
golden glow
abismo,
of the treasure
así que
beckons,
supongo que
don't
sí,
you
es
hesitate.
el
Just
nuevo
go
abismo.
open it.
How
Entre
can you be so
That's
cute?
amazing. I don't know.
Más
Somehow I still
conocido
didn't
como
make
el
it as
teatro
cute as the
imaginario.
actually.
Of course,
Background
it'll
is
take
changing.
time.
Ooh, here we go,
Let's see what else this version has in store.
Yes, please.
Esto sí que es un
Ritual
evento.
security enhancing
Nos regalan un arma.
simulation. Huh. I see some hilly churls and ruin guards,
Aparte
so
de
I'm assuming this
protos,
is one of those
mora,
monster
coronita.
fighting events.
Yes,
un
sort
arco.
of. Travelers won't be engaging monsters directly.
pregunto,
Instead,
me
they'll be able to
pregunto
command monsters to
si
fight
le
in a
irá bien a
cooperative
Sethos.
simulation.
Ooh.
The Millilith will be hosting a strategic war game to improve their understanding of security needs
No, lo
throughout
otro es el
Teyvat.
material para
They'll be
refinar el
accompanied
arco.
by representatives from Mondstadt's Knights of Favonius, Inazuma's Yashiro Commission, Sumeru's Corps of 30, and Fontaine's Special Patrol. Their joint exercise is intended to improve military tactics across the continent.
Sir, yes,
official.
sir.
Wow. You're making this event sound really official.
That was my official voice. I'm just doing my best. As I was saying, you can play two different kinds of scenarios in the event: assault scenarios and defense scenarios. As special representatives to the simulation, travelers will need to analyze enemy formations and deploy the best units for completing the challenge.
In assault scenarios, you only need to select your combat units and deploy them within your
¿Por qué me
staging area.
recuerda esto
So once the scenario
al
begins,
evento
the
aquel?
unit will
Ya no me acuerdo
automatically
ni
start
del
attacking
nombre.
your
El
opponent.
de las
So
torres.
sit back and I don't know if you can
No sé
relax
por qué,
when these
pero
things
me
are
lo he
coming at you, but
recordado.
try.
Clearly not.
Pew pew.
Ooh, okay, I'm gonna give this a
Efectivamente,
try.
vamos.
Yeah,
Efectivamente.
Do it.
How come my hilly churl archers got wiped out so quickly?
Oh, no. Okay, sorry, I forgot to mention something important.
You
Sorry.
know.
I know. But here, we can fix it
Aunque
now.
tenemos
Some types of
novedades.
combat units are more effective against others.
Tenemos
Ranged units
compañeros.
like hilly churl archers are vulnerable to melee units like mighty churls.
Compañeros
But don't fret,
hilichurls.
you can turn a bad situation around if you choose the best
samuráis
units to
también.
tackle the opponents on the battlefield.
Just choose the best
Y
units,
cebollitas
Exact, just
estas,
choose
que
the best
tanto
units.
nos
Just
gusta
choose the best
farmear.
units.
Simple fix.
In defense scenarios, you need to deploy units to effectively counter enemies who are attacking from multiple directions.
Este para
So,
mí
defeated
siempre ha
enemy
sido
units will
uno
drop
de los
support
eventos
beacons,
que
which can then be
menos me
used to
han
deploy
gustado.
additional combat units and frontline structures.
As the unit's
A ver si
commander,
ahora que no
travelers can use their
solamente con las
leadership
torres
skills to create favorable
me
conditions
gusta
for
más.
their team.
Estoy
And if
viendo,
they're successful,
¿qué es eso?
then travelers can obtain various rewards
Ahora en vez de tenemos
from
que
the Mutual
defender
Security
en serio.
Enhancing Simulation
You like
event.
rewards?
These rewards include Primo Gems, a Crown of Insight, and a 4-star bow, Cloud Forged.
Oh,
Cloud
gimme!
Forged.
A ver, pinta más
Okay.
interesante que los
And
anteriores.
next up, we're introducing another combat-related event.
Que era
Endless
solamente
Forms
colocar la
Most
torre.
Martial.
Oh, okay. I'm guessing that this one is going to test some different skills.
Yeah, you betcha. In the previous event, travelers only got to simulate combat, but the environment on a real battlefield is way more unpredictable. And that's why it's important to come up with combat tactics on the fly and take advantage of battlefield conditions. So, in Endless Forms Most Martial, travelers will have to defeat enemies according to the special rules of each stage. For example, some challenges may require travelers to defeat enemies affected by the electro-charged condition. And that is the
De
only way to
momento, todo
accumulate
eventos
progress
de
towards the
combate.
challenge goal.
Me gusta,
Now,
me
once they
gusta.
satisfy the requirements, they'll be able to earn rewards.
I'm appreciating all these rewards.
Yes, I love rewards. So this is one of those challenges that requires you to strategize.
Indeedy. Oh, okay. Let's move on to our next event. I'm gonna try this announcer voice.
¿Por qué me pones a la
I've got a
la
report
foquita
about
así?
a loud boom that just went off in a rather
Dime que no tengo que acabar
unremarkable
con
part
ella,
of
por favor.
Fontaine.
Por favor.
Ooh, I like that news.
It must have come from that crocodile-shaped cannon. That thing looks pretty scary.
Never fear, viewers. I wouldn't worry about it, actually.
Phew.
This cannon was modified by a Fontainian engineer. It's now just a toy cannon that you can use to fire hydro bullets. So why not have some fun with it?
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, why not
Vale.
indeed, if that's
Es
the
como
case.
el que hemos tenido
Travelers
ya
will
en
need to
alguna otra
allocate energy to the
ocasión con el
cannon and
arcón,
choose the
pero ahora
correct
con un
firing
cañón.
mode to destroy as many target balls as possible
de
within the
burbujas.
time limit. They'll even be rewarded for their trouble.
Was there ever a doubt? In order to keep the event interesting, special types of target balls will appear during the challenge. They will produce
Este
different
pesa mi
effects when they
puntería
are destroyed.
terrible.
So, be sure to check it out for
Reconozco que
yourselves
siempre
in
me
the
ha
new
gustado,
update.
la
You
verdad.
guys, that's my kind of old school arcade games because I'm an old school. I'm just old. Anyway,
No, it's like, oh no, not
our
that.
next event takes place in the land of Mondstadt. Travelers will encounter a familiar light novelist who recently completed a new script.
Ya no hay platino, lo han
Travelers who
sacado
follow
después
her
de
script will
ponerlo
be
en
able
este
to embark
último.
on
Se
a
les ha ido un
wondrous
poquito de las
journey
manos.
of literature and imagination. And the script will lead travelers to mysterious locales where they will have the opportunity to earn rewards. That is, if they can evade bullet curtain assaults from, various mechanisms and collect enough labyrinth coins. No big deal. You can
A
do it.
ver,
Easy
I'm ready.
peasy.
Wicked
de los
warlocks
cuatro
will also be
eventos,
scattered across the
tres
field.
son
Ooh,
repetidos,
alliteration. I like it.
pero
If you defeat
con
them,
novedades.
then you can earn
No
even
son
more
exactamente
coins.
lo mismo que ya hemos
Ooh,
tenido
looks
en
like
su
we'll have
día.
to move really skillfully if we want to avoid all those
Pero son
attacks.
repetidos.
No pressure.
But hey, don't worry. Travelers can take advantage of adventure techniques to gain special buffs. So these buffs will make the oncoming bullets a lot easier to deal with. You'll also be able to get rewards more easily if you're smart about how you use them.
That sounds great.
So great.
Speaking of strategies, the new version will be adding more updates to the
¡Hombre,
Genius
Grillo!
Invocation TCG.
Tú por aquí.
Travelers can look forward to new character
Me alegra
cards,
que
monster
vengas
cards,
en modo
and
carta
action cards. Also,
y no en
more
modo
NPCs
personaje,
will be ready
la
to
verdad.
challenge
Me alegro, me
travelers
alegro.
in the open world.
Redemption code.
Sinceramente,
See you soon.
por lo menos en mi opinión, último código, magnífico gatito, por cierto, pinta bastante entretenido a la 4.7 y repito, es de las actualizaciones, por no decir la actualización, en la que menos contenido vamos a tener, ya que básicamente no hay nueva zona.
Some really exciting news. Travelers' max lesson will be increased from 160 to 200.
Nice. You might notice from the video that version 4.7 will have some other optimizations. Be sure to check them out for yourselves in-game.
Pero el nivel 100 al final, ¿el qué? ¿Los personajes?
All right, that looks like all the information.
Bye, everybody.
A ver, sorpresa final. Ojo. ¡Ojo! ¿Esos son los saurios? Natlan, que sí que nos enseñan algo. ¿Así es como nos vamos a mover por Natlan? ¿Nos vamos a convertir en criaturitas, me estás diciendo? Me gusta la idea, me gusta. Además, uno distinto para cada tierra, agua y volar. Qué ganas tengo de que llegue Natlan, de verdad, de verdad. Pues sí, teníamos sorpresita final, sí.